Welcome once again to the gift that keeps on giving, the Weather Report. I'm your host for this outstanding journey through the world of sports, the Weatherman, aka D-Ruck. So let's get right to it. First up, Ndamukong, defensive tackle for the Detroit Lions. One of the best defensive tackles in the game today. However, he has one issue, himself. He just can't seem to stay out of his own way. Case in point, Thanksgiving Day, he decides as the best idea in the world to slam the head of Packers guard Evan Dietrich Smith into the turf a few times and then proceed to step on the man once he gets up. Now, we all heard the lame excuse that Sue gave after the game, but let's be real. The cameras caught everything that happened, and it was clear that what Sue did was intentional. According to the sources, the NFL is going to suspend Sue for 2 games. I, for one, think it's the best move. I think it's warranted. Sue has tons of incidents that led up to this incident that happened on Thursday, and it's time for the NFL to try their best to put an end to the happenings that Sue seems to always find himself involved in. Whether it's ripping the head off a quarterback or at least trying to stepping on a man's arm, there's no place for it in the NFL. Being honest, there really is no place for it in any sport unless it's the UFC, and there's no pads or helmets in the octagon, last time I checked. So hopefully this will be the incident that gets Sue to tame himself just enough to where he can find a way to harness that rage from when the ball is snapped and the whistle is blown. Let's hope at least. Next up, Hanie, quarterback for the Chicago Bears. In a loss to the Oakland Raiders, he played okay. He played about as well as to be expected for a man making his first NFL start. Check out the numbers. 18 for 36, 254 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he did have those 3 interceptions. But let's be patient with the man. It was his first start. It was against a good defense in the Oakland Raiders. My biggest problem was the fact that he threw the ball 36 times. The game was 12-7 at halftime, so it was a close game, and the final score was 25-20. It was close. There's no reason for the Chicago Bears to only run the ball 27 times when they have a workhorse in the backfield like Matt Forte. All right, you have a player making his first NFL start. You need to limit the amount of opportunities that he has to make mistakes. I don't think Mike Martz and Lovie Smith did that for Hanie. I think in the future they have to. Check out the Bears' next 3 games. They have the Chiefs, the Broncos, Tim Tebow, yes we know, and the Seattle Seahawks. All right, they can go 2-1 or potentially even 3-0 in those 3 games. If they do, hey, the wild card is theirs for the taking. If not, then they'll have an uphill battle. But I believe that Chicago Bears will still be in the playoffs. Hanie will lead them there as long as Mike Martz and Lovie Smith find a way to limit the opportunities that he has to make mistakes. Remember, he will get better as the games go on, but you have to be patient with the man. He is still young. Next up, Houston Texans, aka the team hit with the quarterback Madden curse. I don't know what happened. I must have fell asleep. I didn't get the memo. Did Gary Kubiak find himself on the cover of the Madden game this past season? Nobody told me. Whether it's Matt Schaub or Matt Leinart, it just does not pay to be a quarterback down in Houston. Now they're down with T.J. Yates, and I believe they signed Kellen Clemens. Hopefully for them, they can win with that tandem. All they need is a quarterback that can hand the ball off to their outstanding running backs, Aaron Foster and Ben Tate, and just be quote-unquote game manager. You have Andre Johnson and Owen Daniels as receivers and the tight end. All you need is a quarterback who can give them the ball, which leads me to a Pro Bowl quarterback with plenty of playoff experience, but not the guy you're thinking about. 122 touchdowns, 22,814 career passing yards. I'm talking about Mark Bolger. Put a call into the man, see if he wants to come out of retirement, help your team win in the playoffs. I think they could do it if they get him to quarterback the team. Call me crazy, but I'm not sold on T.J. Yates, a rookie, and Kellen Clemens, a journeyman, leading Texans to the promised land. Call me crazy. Next up, a pair of coaches who seem to be coming under fire lately, Andy Reid and Norv Turner. We'll talk about Andy Reid first. Philadelphia Eagles 4-7 this year. Andy Reid's been there for 13 years. Is it time to get rid of Andy Reid? No, I don't believe so. Now remember, for the whole season, I've been the one saying that Andy Reid should be held accountable for the poor play of his Philadelphia Eagles. I've been saying that. I'm a huge proponent that the coach should not only get the blessings and the praise of when the team does well, but he also has to get the blame when the team falters. All right, and being honest, the Philadelphia Eagles have done nothing but falter this season. However, you got to give them one more season. Reason being, you bring in a ton of free agent players, and then you tell Andy Reid, hey, go out there, coach them, lead them to the Super Bowl, but I'm going to give you a shortened offseason, a shortened training camp, and I still expect you to get the results that we want as a ownership and as a team. It's not fair to Andy Reid, okay? Give the man one full offseason, one full training camp with that team, and see what he does next year. If the team falters next year, if they stumble, go 8-8, miss the playoffs, whatever the case may be, then yes, you can go ahead and fire him. But you got to give him one full offseason, one full training camp with that team to see what happens. Now, on the flip side, you have Norv Turner, who was also 4-7 as the San Diego coach, and I think it's time for him to go. Marty Schottenheimer, the previous coach in San Diego, look at his five seasons in San Diego: 8-8, 4-12, 12-4, 9-7, and his final season they went 14-2. Now look at the seasons that Norv Turner's been there: 11-5, 8-8, 13-3, 9-7, and so far this year they're 4-7. All right. San Diego Chargers have been notorious for being slow starters under Norv Turner. This year they actually got out to a fast start, but then forgot that the season is actually 16 games long and not 8. So now they're 4-7. Go figure, right? Norv Turner is not the answer. He is a great offensive coordinator. Every stop he's been in, he's been great in that position. However, he's not a good head coach. You know, I'm not knocking the man because, truth be told, I've never been an NFL head coach. However, as we see, he's not good in that job. Got to get rid of him. And if you keep him, then you have to fire the GM, A.J. Smith. You got to let him go. The man should have never fired Marty Schottenheimer to begin with. He did. He made his own bed. Now he should lie in it. Either you get rid of Norv Turner, get rid of the GM, or do what I say and get rid of both. Clean house. Next up, Bernie Fine. The Syracuse scandal, the saga that's going on. I think it's disgusting, the allegations that have come out. I don't know what's gotten into coaches over the last few years, but NCAA, because that seems to be the hotbed of all these allegations, they need to find a way to police their coaches better than what they're doing. But I want to, caution everyone that this is not the Penn State scandal all over again. All right, Syracuse is not accused of covering up any crimes or any allegations that they heard about. For all that we know, nobody in Syracuse administration knew that this was going on. Syracuse fired Bernie Fine over the weekend. I think it was the right move. What people tend to forget is that these universities are public institutions. They rely on the public for funding and for support. You cannot be looked upon as a harborer of criminals, especially crimes as heinous as child molestation, and still expect the support from the public and from boosters. You can't do it. They cut ties with the man. Now, he hasn't been proven guilty in a court of law. That is true. This is all alleged allegations. However, you had to cut ties with him because it just looks bad for the program. Now, Jim Boeheim, the head coach of the Syracuse Orangemen, or the Syracuse Orange, the basketball team, I do not think he should be fired for this saga, the scandal that's going on. From what we've heard, he didn't know anything about it. He supported the man. He was wrong when he came out and called the accusers liars and accused them of extorting money from Bernie Fine. We don't know the ins and outs of that. Even if they did do that, he shouldn't have come out and said it. It wasn't right. It wasn't his place. Maybe he should be sanctioned by the university for that. However, he should keep his job. I don't see this as being the same as the Penn State scandal. Let's hold judgment until all the facts come out, and then let's go from there. Next up, Urban Meyer, back in the head coaching game. Just got hired, named as the Ohio State Buckeyes head coach. I think it's a great move from Ohio State's perspective. He's proven to be a winner in every stop he's had. Bowling Green, Utah, Florida. The man wins. All right, it's proven. Here's my cautionary tale for Ohio State fans out there. Is Urban Meyer healthy? Let's hope he is, for his sake and his family's sake. That's my biggest worry. Can he be an effective head coach and still keep his health? That seemed to be a problem down in Florida. Hopefully he's found a way to balance that. Also, a huge concern, if you're Ohio State, or at least it should be, is the fact that Urban Meyer had a lot of arrests of his players down in Florida. I believe it was over 50. Correct me if I'm wrong, feel free to. But either way, there was a ton of his players getting arrested down in Florida. Remember, you are Ohio State, the Ohio State University. You're coming off a scandal where Jim Tressel, knew about alleged, improprieties. Terrell Pryor, free tattoos, this, that, and the third, selling memorabilia, whatever the case may be. You do not want and you do not need another scandal coming. You don't need your players getting arrested. Let's hope that Urban Meyer can find a way to, one, keep his health in good standing, and two, make sure that his players stay on the right side of the law. Because the last thing that Ohio State needs is a coach who puts himself in dire health and has players that get arrested. Let's hope that everything works out for Ohio State. I think it's a good move at this point. Last topic, but not least, the NBA is back. I think Santa looked down upon all of us and he said, you know what, for Christmas, I'm going to give you the NBA back. Luckily, so it seems that cooler heads have prevailed. The owners and the players came together, came up with an agreement, and we're going to have the NBA. Later on, we're going to look into different divisions of the NBA. We're going to, preview them. I'm going to pick winners. I'm going to try my hand and see who's going to win a title. Wish me luck on that. Let's see how the free agency period, works itself out. Let's see how the new CBA rules affect the big market teams. But most importantly, let's see how it affects the smaller market teams like the Charlotte Bobcats, the Milwaukee Bucks, even the LA Clippers. I know they're in a big market, but they have an owner who swears up and down that they're in a small market. So let's see how it affects those teams, even the Portland Trailblazers, things of that nature. I'm looking forward to the NBA. I know most of you out there are. Let's hope that the season turns out to be good, even though it's going to be shortened. And with that, that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me. Find me on Twitter, Weatherman Ruck. Find me on Facebook. I'm out there. I'm going to keep doing what I do. Hopefully you keep supporting me, and I'm out.